All right, welcome everyone. This is the Art of Reinvention. What's next for you in 2026? If you're joining me, you're probably a part of the Soul Professional community. And our theme for January of 2026 is the word reinvention. If you've been to some of our other things, we always start with the Soul Circle, the first Monday evening of the month. And we talk about the inner work of reinvention. So for the inner focus and our seekers, it is who am I becoming next? That's the inner part of reinvention. And then if you came to our global gathering, introduce questions that you can talk about and how we go a little deeper into the inner and the outer of reinvention. And then I wrap it up here in the master classes, what we call our Wisdom to Wealth series, with the outer focus, which is called What is My Business Becoming Next? And we talk about how are we integrating who we are with what we do in the world. So that's what we're going to be talking today about, reinvention. And it's been a pretty amazing month. And I love the idea of having one theme because I can keep bringing things up. And I feel like the layers of it is how everyone's learning. So if you guys are joining me for the class that I have here, I'm just going to open up the chat so I can see it. If you have any questions, you can talk along the way. I love an interaction. You can also ask me anything in the chat and I will read it. But today we're just going to talk about reinvention. I always love to start off with why you decided to show up to this class, or are you reinventing in 2026? Was it the word? Is it because you show up to all of my classes and I love you for that? Or what is it? What made you come today? If you can share that with me either online or just throw it in the chat, that'll be helpful. Karen, do you want to say something?
Yeah, I'm here because I really want to learn more from you. That's all there is
Yay.
to it. I just love being in your
Thank
world,
you.
and I am reinventing myself with creating more wealth from the inside out.
Yeah,
And I need a little help with that. So that's
awesome.
why I'm here.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Anybody else?
Say
Uh,
something.
oh, there you go.
Unless
Who wants-
Jacqueline wants to.
Jacqueline, why don't you jump in and then Jamie, you can go.
Yeah. I love reinventing. That is supposed to be intending my word of the year. I've gone from it's personal, professional, and not spiritual, because that's cool. But it's the what's next, and it's the what do I want to be when I grow up? And so how do I reinvent? How do I figure out what space to settle into this year?
Ooh, I like that. I like that. It's a great year for it too, which we'll be talking about that.
Oh, good.
Thank you. Jamie, am I saying that right?
Jamie.
Oh, Jamie.
Jamie without the
Oh,
E.
it's one of my favorite names too. I
Oh, well,
never
thank you.
saw it written that way. Okay.
I I seen you on a Well Coaches CE
Oh, okay.
class, so recently found you
Mhm.
and saw that you had this, and I'm looking at creating a new practice, a health coaching practice. So I was working in a clinical setting for about a year, and now I'm growing, so it really is like soil to health to table, all of those things. But I love lifestyle medicine and looking at how to do this. So I'm, unlike other businesses I've started, which were not in the health area, I could quickly get it going. But this time I'm taking a lot more time to make sure I have my I's dotted and T's crossed and navigating this with a lot more knowledge and experience than, somebody who had an art degree before.
Well, what we say about soul professionals, we're so multi-dimensional and we're multi-passionate, right? So we very rarely, if ever, have these linear paths in our career because we jump. I was a 2-year jumper. Like every 2 years, I moved up, I moved out. I changed my careers. Even if I didn't change my career because I worked in nonprofits, I changed the one I was working for. just because that's what we do. So I love that you're integrating all of it. I love that you're bringing the food into your new business. That sounds beautiful. My background is in organic agriculture. So I love that. Yeah. So welcome. Like, go ahead. Do you want to say something?
Oh, I'm just very excited. I didn't know your background included organic ag because I was just writing a rebuttal to an article that includes regenerative ag, and I've done that in my local area, including um, in the city government and advocate and all of that. So this is really awesome.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Happy to talk to you about it. All right. So reinvention. So it's real. First, let me talk about the year because I think that's really, really important for those that follow astrology, the Chinese New Year. It was the year of this, 2025 was the year of the snake, right? So it was also a 9 year, which when you add everything up, it ends up with a 9. And that is the end of a cycle, the end of a cycle. So it was also a year of the snake, which means we're shedding what no longer serves us. Many soul professionals, I hate putting it out there, but it's past, struggled during 2025 because we were redefining who we were, right? Money was drying up. We were seeing a change, and we see this in all of our global systems. All the structure and the patriarchy, all of it is falling, it's crumbling, and they're still screaming, right? They want to keep it. But the feminine energy, regardless of our gender, the feminine energy and that soft receiving, that global awareness is coming in right now. And that's why structure is falling, right? And I think we're going to continue to see that. I don't even think, I know we're going to continue to see that. But 2026 is also, it's a 10, it's a 1-0, but you drop the 0 and it's also a 1. So it's really a 10-1 year, and it's the year of the fire horse, which is beautiful for us because it's a rebirth. It's a going forward year. It's the start of a new cycle. You can look back at where you are 9 or 10 years ago and look at the growth and change in you as a person or your business, or probably both, right? I started this exactly 10 years ago, so it was really interesting for me to go back. But I do see I'm pulling some stuff from my original business plan back in that kind of fell through the cycle, but we're pulling it in because we did have this global pandemic, some of you might remember, right smack in the middle of our cycle, which changed a lot of things for us. And I do think that there's a strong pull towards community again, but community is going to look very different going forward. So I think we're still trying to figure out what that community is, but we're very tired of social media. We're tired of the selling. We're tired of the fear-based tactics that people have used. I've been talking to a lot of other coaches that were saying, a lot of people come to me after they've spent a ridiculous amount of money on coaches that were like, 10 steps to 10K months, or, I promise you this. And the one thing about this soul community is those programs will never work for us, because what makes us different is us. It's our energy. So someone else's plan and program will never work for us. We have to integrate who we are in the world, and then how is it executed through, like, how is our passion executed in the world? Right? So it's one, discovering who we are. So we'll talk about that today. And then how do we translate it into our business? Right? So it's really becoming, because part of who we are needs to shine brighter. We don't need to be shouting from mountaintops. And that's why I think social media is going to kind of not be what it used to be for all of us, because we're getting tired of looking at everyone shouting from mountaintops and putting themselves out there. And it's really going to be about relationship building. That's one of the reasons we have the global gatherings. If you've been to those, it's a way of building relationships with others around the world that are doing really incredible stuff. So reinvention is about all of that, but it's not about starting over. I want to be really clear that reinvention isn't starting over. It's about becoming your authentic self. It's about reimagining who you are going forward. It's about discovering your future self and making decisions from there. Does that make sense? And allowing what no longer serves you to go away. We don't need it anymore. I will share, if you've been in my programs over the month, I've probably shared the same story over and over, but it's good to hear. A lot of 2025, I felt like in the summer, it almost went stagnant. It went really dried up. And I was like, well, I'm not going to go against the flow of this. I'm not going to fight and swim against the stream. I'm just going to let it go and recreate and see what comes up for me. And it was a time for me of re-inflection, of self-inflection. And I told a lot of my clients were like, and many entrepreneurs go through this, it's like, am I still going to do this? Should I close my business? What does this look like for me? And many times I say, go start to apply for jobs, because the energy will switch in you. If you're applying for jobs or even going on interviews and you're like, I hate this, there's no way I'm going to do this, then you got that like nudge to go back into entrepreneurship. And sometimes you'll find something that's very complementary. I had one client that took a part-time 2 days a week job in a spirit shop that really worked out for her. It was perfect, and she's getting clients. It was a great complementary. And I always say you're better off taking a job not in what you're doing, so you're not like fighting your own energy. So we did find that a lot in the summer, and I found as we pulled through the end of August into September, I felt the momentum coming back, and I'm actually feeling a lot of momentum into 2026, but it's really about authenticity. For myself, I found that I have this need to go deeper into my soulful side. I've always been soulful, but really going in. I'm claircognizant. If you don't know me, I do a lot of psyche work, which is an energy psychology with my clients. And we've always dovetailed all of that into business strategy and who you are. But boy, did I get a tap on like, you really need to go deep into this now. You really need to pull out the soul side. And I beta tested a program called Aligned by Design that will come back this spring. But it was teaching others intuition, how to tap into their spirit guides and the ones that are helping them with their business, how to offset limiting beliefs, how to regulate your body and your nervous system, how to understand earning systems and what your body wants. And we did, I think it was an 8-week program. No, I'm sorry, it was a 6-week program. And by the end, I was like, I was impressed. The people in the class were impressed. And I was like, yes, this is what I need to do. So it was a big part of me. And that's what I found in 2025 for myself. You could do some journaling or some thought-provoking things to see, was there a shift for you in 2025 that was noticeable, or things or programs that you were running, but they no longer feel in alignment? Like something has shifted in who you are. Sometimes it's just tweaking, right? So I did my business accelerator. That'll expand. I'll bring that back. I always beta test things and then I bring them back. I've always had my business accelerator, which is a 14-week strategy program. And the beginning was always developing who you are for those first 3 weeks and going in. But now I have the tools to go in deeper, which I think is going to be so much fun. And helping people find that inner core balance before we start all of the strategy. And then I'll bring this up at the end, but from it, I had this high-end mastermind called My Collective, where I help scale businesses, scale with soul. And I've decided, why don't I let that go and create what I'll call my inner circle going forward, where I'm taking these themes and I'm doing the inner work and the outer strategy with a cohort going through the whole year. And that's going to be my new mentorship program / mastermind. And that'll be for all levels. So that's what came out. I'm talking about this to tell you that that's what came out of my 2025 without realizing it. And the funny thing is, when I decided to do the themes, when I was doing my business plan at the end of the year and doing, this is the first year we're doing themes every single month. It kind of came to me without me realizing it. Like, oh, themes, we'll have an inner theme, we'll have an outer, like it's one theme, one anchor word, but there's an inner piece to it, there's an outer piece to it. And then when I was like, I don't feel like the mastermind is really, it doesn't bring me as much joy. I would say it doesn't make my heart sing the way I really want to do, how I want to show up when I'm with clients, right? Did it pay the bills? Yeah, but it didn't make my heart sing. So I was like, let me tweak it so I can help more people, maybe at a lower level, because that's what I like to do, that aren't hitting the six figures yet, but are really integrating. And that's where this came. And then I was like, well, what does it look like? I don't know. And I kind of sit with it. And all of a sudden I saw my map, which is here. I have this map of my anchor word, the inner, the outer. It was a little, and I just looked at it, went, oh my God, that's a 12-month program right there. It was like, that's it. I didn't have to do it. So that was some of the things that came for me on 2025, what I needed to let go and what I needed more of as part of my reinvention. So in 2026, I'm not really looking to build bigger, but to integrate more of who I am becoming, if that makes sense. And I dropped an old podcast. I'm starting actually a new show. We just started recording. It's called Global Conversations. And it's talking about where science meets soul. I'm also writing a book about the science behind spirituality and soul. And it's called The Rise of the Soul Professional and the paradigm shift that's happening in the world right now and blah, 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 blah. So that is bringing me full circle, right? And I always have to remind myself, stop creating, and just bringing that. So I'm using this as an example to show you the difference between 2025 and 2026 for me. Did any of you have something similar that you absolutely closed the door on, or there was awakening of something like an itch in you and that you want to bring into 2026? It's okay if you don't, you can use the chat too if you don't want to come on. It's okay if you don't. So what we're looking for in these changes is kind of like a restlessness or something that doesn't feel quite settled in us. It could be in our body. That's usually where it is, but we don't always notice it. What that looks like for us. All right. Go ahead, Robin. Do you have something to share? You can unmute.
Yes, hi, thank you. And
Hi.
my sincere apologies, I was late arriving
No
today.
problem.
Thank you. Yes, you just hit on the word restlessness, that's for sure. 2025 was a very full-on year for me.
Okay.
I currently am not, I don't have a business. I
Okay.
first took my coaching credentials in 2007. So I've had a passion since then of wanting to be a coach with a business, but I've never got my business off the ground.
Okay.
Done way too much learning, as she was saying, way too much credentialing, continue to learn, lifelong learner, love it, love it, love it. The last few years, my mum, who made it to just over 100 years of age, I was dealing with focusing on her a lot for the last few years and traveling. We don't live in the same countries or the same hemisphere, so a lot of focus was there. So this year, so mum passed away last year, 2025. So then that was kind of closing a door as well, and that will make changes with me and my siblings.
Okay.
And so now that's kind of there behind us. And this year I've been like, wow, now what would I love to focus on? And I still want to be doing something, to be working with people to help them with my experience or what I know, whatever. Certainly with all the mental health issues that are going on around the world, like helping people deal with life in that regard. And to sort of take leadership for themselves because so much feels out of our control. And So yeah, getting to know themselves, getting to know what they want to do, finding their strengths, helping them move forward as a leader in their own lives rather than being tossed and turned in all of this washing machine world and sort of, just surviving above the washer. Um, I've no idea what it is. I'm still exploring. And when I found you, I was thrilled because I was in corporate for 23 years. A teacher before that, trained teacher, corporate, and
Wow.
then got out of corporate and said, okay, now I can do my coaching, and tried, focused on it, never lost the passion, but marketing, my services, no, not happening. So yeah, so this is lovely. Hearing you today, that's what I have felt. 2026 for me was like, okay, here's a really fresh start.
Absolutely.
And how do I move forward from here? So thank you. Probably said way too much, but
That's okay. Thank you for sharing. I appreciate that. Yeah, I think marketing is really going to change. Really going to change. And one of the things that I've always taught is when clients use words about you, those are the words you need to use in your marketing, right? Years ago, someone called me like my community a business incubator. So we adopted the word because I was like, that's a great word. People identify with that word, right? So we constantly change the words, especially if other people adapt them quickly, and they lose meaning. Then we have to change it because the hardest part is teaching others who we are. The beauty is that there is no competition in this world. Nobody can compete against you for being you. And you are the differentiator. And when people like you or resonate with you, they really want to be you or be in your energy, right? And no one else can take that away from you. Nobody. So a part of marketing now is just shine your light brighter. You be more of you. Don't do the jargon and using AI to make very generalized posts and stuff. That is not attracting people, and everyone else is doing it, so you can't stand out. It's really about building relationships so people say, I love her energy. That's who I want to be with. That's who I want to share with. And we're going to find that it's going to be ROR, return on relationships. Now, this goes back decades to how we used to do business. And we're going back to that. Like earlier when I said people are searching for community again, they're looking for real, genuine, authentic relationships. And that is going to be how we grow. All right, I want to get back to reinvention. I have a line here because I'm reading notes. Reinvention begins when who you've been no longer fits who you are becoming. That's reinvention. When who you've been no longer fits who you are becoming. So you want to always make decisions from this place of your future self, if that makes sense. So some key points I just want to make about this. Your brain should be asking, what should I do next? That's usually what your brain is asking in this space of reinvention. Your brain's asking, what should I do? What should I do? Could have really come up a lot in 2025. What's next for me? Should I go get a job? Should I change careers? Should I stop these packages? Should I stop this? Should I close my community? What should I do next? That's your brain, your logic side. Your soul side is saying, who am I becoming now? Do you see the difference? It's not what you're doing next, it's who are you becoming? And then we ask, how should I express this in the world? Does that feel different? Right? So what should I do is logic, but who am I becoming and how should I express it in the world is from your soul, right? That's when your identity shifts and your decisions should feel simpler. Because if it feels heavy in your body, that's not a decision from your soul, right? That's not feeling good in your soul. And it's as easy as just sitting with the feeling, right? And then you also have to identify, and this is an intuition thing that I can't really teach in this short class, but is it a fear of being like seen? There's a lot of visibility wounds we're seeing right now, right? That's a different fear from who you're becoming than this doesn't feel, it feels heavy or not good in my body because you shouldn't be doing it. Do you understand the difference? Some people have a fear of being somebody, right? People won't like me when I do that. I'll lose friends when I do that. I can't make money doing that. I don't want to show this side of me, right? That's fear from your visibility. That's a fear of becoming who you want to be. When you can shed that, right, and align with your body of who you want to be, and then be able to accept it in your body, that's where you start to normalize the experience, right? That's where you feel unstuck. If you're feeling stuck, that means you've probably outgrown who you used to be. Does that make sense? Okay. So I think the important part of reinvention is we're not burning down everything you're doing. This is not a complete rebrand. So many people are like, I'm just going to rebrand. You're just tweaking who you are. My words got tighter. My mission didn't change. My mission is to help other people bring their gifts to the world. My mission doesn't change, but my words got a tighter. I talk about alignment more. I talk about coherence more. I talk about the two rivers that we see soul professionals be in, like that logic and the spiritual, right? The creativity and the productivity, right? But these rivers are coming and starting to merge. So we are standing in that coherence. We are standing, confluence. We are standing in that intersection. And that's the change. Does that make sense? Yeah. And people, I believe, people are looking for that. Because you can only attract who you are in the world. If you're not attracting the right people, you have to look in the mirror and saying, what am I putting out there? Is it my energy? Is it my words? What am I putting out there that isn't resonating with other people? Right? Or is it a fear? Right? Because that's an energy you're putting out there that's not resonating. But when you feel everything and you're in coherence, that energy just goes out. It's like when you probably found me or the community. It's feel like this is where I belong. This feels good. You don't quite know why though, right? Because you're feeling the energy of me or the other people. Does that make sense? Yeah, so you just want to be open so people can come into your energy. Some questions you want to ask yourself is, who have I been or have been required to be, right? So if we're wearing professional masks, in order to succeed until now. And sometimes we see that in the corporate world, right? When I went from a corporate structure to what building this company, it was hard to shed some of that professional mask that I wore, right? And the next question is, and what parts of me have been waiting their turn? And this is usually the spiritual side. I've been quiet, my woo-woo. I don't want people to know. But as soon as you start talking about it, it'll be wild who you start to attract. And you'll be like, oh, I didn't know that you too? I didn't know. And that's what you'll start to see. So those are some questions you want to start asking yourself, right? Okay, I'm just reading my notes. Why reinvention feels uncomfortable? I think we talked a little bit about this, right? Reinvention disrupts your identity, the groups that you're belonging to, your predictability, and your nervous system prefers familiar pain over unfamiliar possibility. You'd rather stay in a rut and do what you've always been doing then try something new. And that's because our brain tends to protect us, right? Our nervous system makes us feel more comfortable if we just keep doing what we've always done and say, you know, this will work, this will work. If you were in I think I talked about it in the global gathering, I let go. I had a paid membership for 10 years. That was the bulk of my revenue for 10 years. And I got to a place that there were hundreds of people in it. And I went, this isn't what I thought I was going to create. Because I learned from that experience that I had people paying me, but I was showing up, or a lot of people weren't showing up. And I didn't like not knowing every single person and being able to help them. And I found, especially lately, that I can teach. I'm a teacher at heart. I can teach all day long, but people will not implement. So a lot of the programs I have now, I also meet with you one-on-one. In, I would say, almost every program I put out there, there's a one-on-one option, or it's part of the program, because I know people will come, show up, and never implement it. And that's just not what I wanted, right? And that's what was happening in my membership, right? We record things, no one watched the recording, and I was like, I know I'm making a lot of money. This does not bring me joy. This is not what I wanted to do, and I deconstructed the whole thing. And now I have very small cohorts that I know every single person, and I'm helping them. And that makes me feel good. That makes me, that makes my heart sing. It brings me joy, and I know every single person intimately. And I feel like I help more people bring their gifts to the world that way, because otherwise I'm just kind of teaching into the abyss. Right? No one's implementing anything, and I'm really not helping people get their gifts to the world. So the reason I do all of this now, and my community became free, is because it becomes a funnel for people to find out who I am, who the community is, to meet people, which was part of my mission, right? And if they want to do more, they can do that. Thousands and thousands of people will never, ever, ever hire me for anything, and that's okay. Because part of my mission is to get everyone to meet each other. Does that make sense? Right? So you have to be really clear on what your vision is and who you're becoming in this world. All right. I'm just looking at this. I tend to keep jumping. All right. Oh yeah, let's talk about the possibility of seeing through a soul-led lens, because so many people logically ask, is this even realistic? Can I do this? Can I teach this way? Can I truly be me and people will resonate, right? And your soul is asking, is this really true? Is this how I'm showing up? Like, logic works from a place of evidence. Other people aren't doing this. Why should I be able to do it? Right? But your soul works from resonance, right? What feels good, what feels true from our energy, right? Fear doesn't necessarily mean no. Fear often means you're about to outgrow a version of yourself, or you have this vision, but your identity hasn't caught up yet. And that's okay too. That happens sometimes. We hold these big visions for ourselves, and that's where imposter syndrome comes in. Like, who am I to bring this to the world? Right? So that's where your identity is a really big part of it. All right, any questions or comments before I keep going? Is this resonating?
Let's see. Thank you. Glad to be back. I love my internet.
Oh, I was like, where'd she pop off to? Okay.
I know. It's like, what? So I relocated. So
Okay.
anyway, so that was beautiful what you said. I was appreciating that piece anyway. So
Good. I'm glad. All right. So one of the ways you can have some optional visualization techniques. We won't do this now, so I don't have to break and hold time. But you can write these down and do them after the class or later today in your quieter time. Is imagining yourself 1 year from now? And I don't mean just, I want this, I want this, I want this, I want this. It's really embodying what that feels like when you've achieved it and holding that picture in your mind's eye. Like you're taking a snapshot and you want to know who is around you. Where are you? You know, are you traveling? For me, I'm always traveling. So that is a big part of my vision, right? Like, where am I a year from now? What am I feeling in my body, right? You want to feel this joy, this success, right? How are you living? What feels lighter? I always say, do the audible too. What are people saying about you? Oh, I love how she coaches. I love how she shows up. I love her shows. I love how she makes me feel. She's the best coach I ever had. So think about what others are saying about you. And then what are you saying about yourself? These are all things to help you visualize who you are becoming. But you have to do it from a place of you are this person right now. And if you can actually spend 5 minutes a day just getting in touch with that feeling of joy or love or ease, that lighterness, right? Money's flowing in, your bank accounts are full, what that feels like in your body, and tap into it 5 minutes a day, you will absolutely get there because your body attracts who you are. So if your body can resonate with that energy, you will attract it. That's science. That's the science of manifestation, right? It's actually around energy, but there's all science behind it. All right. All right. From insight to direction, what reinvention does not require? Quitting everything, making a dramatic announcement. I said this before about rebranding. You do not have to announce anything to the world. I think it's so beautiful because I can see momentum with little tweaks I'm making right now without changing, but I'm changing my words. I'm changing how I show up, like small tweaks. And I'm like, huh, a lot of new people are coming in right now. Why is that happening? Right. And then I always bring it back to numbers. Like every single week I do what's called KPIs, right? Key performance indicators that I track so I can watch how this is actually resonating. Right. So I'm not up for the big dramatic announcement. It will not blow up your life to make small tweaks and to reinvent yourself, right? It requires alignment in motion. So if each day you do 5 minutes, that will add up by the end of the year, right? And then you also want to release, right? Release, reclaim, redirect. The first one is release. You want to release roles that you've outgrown. Whatever those roles are for you, right? You want to release those. I released a long time ago people that kept showing up with the exact same problems over and over and over and over again and not taking any actions to change that. And I'm just like, those aren't my people, not working with you, right? So things like that, the roles you've outgrown, ways that you've been preforming. What ways have you been performing that you are releasing, right? It could be allowing everyone your time. It could be not giving your time off or having a morning routine or whatever that looks like for you. But those are the things that you want to think about. What has to change? For me, it was, creating time in my schedule to make sure I got to the gym and I had time for yoga and hikes and getting out of my house because I work from home. I stay home all day and I'm really happy doing it, but that's not really good for me or my soul, right? So it was creating that space that I had to, so I can expect more from myself. and expectations that aren't yours anymore. So society puts a lot of expectations on us that aren't ours anymore to hold, right? We can be good friends, good mothers, good siblings, good children. These are all roles that we have, but we don't have to overstep them or be too much, right? Because we're supposed to, right? Or, the best coach in the world, I'm always going to show up, right? You need to put boundaries around yourself, which is a whole nother class, which I probably have on YouTube somewhere. Boundaries is a really important one. The second thing is to reclaim. The first one was release. Second one is reclaim. So you want to reclaim skills maybe that you have and you've underused. If you're really good at something, like for me, video, I'm very, very good at video. I do most of my stuff through video. And for a long time, I stopped being on video. And I'm like, I got to go back. I got to go back because that's how people see me. That's how they can find me in a non-pressure way. They can go do all their homework about me. And they can pretty much feel a lot of my energy. If they look through a video and feel me, that's a good way to do it. Think of the skills that you may have that are underused. If you're a writer, you're a creator, whatever that looks like for you. Any wisdom that you've earned through lived experience that maybe you don't reclaim. Like, I think the older we get, the more wisdom we have, right? Especially for women past that menopausal age, we actually have more wisdom than is ever expressed. That is our point in the world. After childbirth, it's to be an elder. Right? That is our place in society. That's why we have so much wisdom. That is why we see women under 50 have like a 90% success rate when starting a business, because we have all of the wisdom and time and skill set now. So make sure you reclaim all of that. And any desires you've minimized. For me, it was like traveling. It was, how do I get that back on my schedule? Same with health. How do I get that back on my schedule? And the third one is redirect. How do you do one beta class? That's how I redirect. I try betas. Like, oh, I have this great idea. Who wants to beta test it with me? So we'll say one experiment. An experiment could be a program, a new way to coach, I don't know, writing a newsletter, a blog, a podcast, whatever it is for you, right? Try one new thing, one conversation. Sometimes just having a conversation with one new person. I do 20 new people every single month. That is my goal, one of my KPIs. And that's why I have beautiful relationships, right? Because I really work on it. It's something that is part of my business. Or making one decision that honors who you are now that maybe you haven't made before, or you've been scared to make. That can be investing in yourself. It could be investing in like a VA or something. It could be getting new portraits done. It could be, I don't know, I'm thinking about a decision that honors who you are. Taking time off. That's a good one. That's a big one. A decision that honors who you are now, I should say, now, right? So reinvention happens through these experiments, right? These new decisions, these new conversations. And it comes a little bit at a time. I think that's the most important thing I'm trying to get across here. It comes a little bit at a time, and you're testing it and you're feeling into it. And you're like, how does this feel? How does this feel? Does that make sense? It's not like, bang, I'm just redesigning who I am. I'm quitting this, throwing it out, and now I'm over here, right? It's a slow walk towards this new. And in the Chinese New Year doesn't actually even start till mid-February. So if some of you, or I should say, the whole world really hasn't felt the rush yet, we're still at the end of the cycle, but we're building towards the new. So there's a lot more coming. This is a perfect time to do it. I'm looking at the time and how many notes, because I always write notes for a 90-minute class in case I don't know, lose train of thought. These are just more questions I have. What is one way I or you can choose myself, yourself more honestly? How can you be more authentic and more honest in every way of how you show up, right? It could be in your social posts, it could be up on video, it could be in a conversation, it could be with a client. You know, how do you show up differently? Okay. Just making sure that I talked about absolutely everything. But the main points with reinvention is it's not a solo journey. So I'm so happy that you have found us. You don't need more information to make that change. You do need to reflect on who you are becoming, right? And then you can look for support or permission or share it with others if you choose to, but you don't have to. Like, I feel like reinvention is kind of quiet, right? And all of a sudden you're like, boom, so successful. And people are like, what did she do? I like it that way personally. But that's why community and guidance and being in the place of other people that have that energy, that is the most important thing. That's one of the reasons we have the soul professional community, right? Because when you're with others, their energy also brings you up. Like they say, wait, I have this on my website. I'm gonna get it to you real fast because I think Denzel Washington is, well, at least the first time I heard it. Where is it? If you hang around 5 confident people, you will be the 6th. If you hang around 5 intelligent people, you will be the 6th. If you hang around 5 millionaires, you will be the 6th. If you hang around 5 struggling entrepreneurs, you will be the 6th. And that is true. We are who we hang out with. And that is the most important. So when you're in this growth, make sure you're hanging around supportive people that also want to see you succeed, want to see your growth, want to embody it with you, want to cheer you on, right? I always want to be the smallest one in a room, right? Because if I'm looking to grow, I want to be the smallest one in a room. Sometimes I'm the leader, but that's my job to be a leader. But when I need to grow, I need to find leaders way bigger than me, right? And get into those rooms. So I'm around their energy. So I can give myself the support and the confidence to get to that level and not look up and be like, I can never be that, so I'll just stay here. That's not what you want to be, right? You want to be in places that help you grow and be. All right. Any questions, thoughts, concerns, things that have come up for you? Answer any questions. Anybody? Karen?
I have a challenge having people sign up for things, Yeah, like you say, great idea. I want to get out there, do a beta test. Come on.
So how are you reaching out to people?
Mostly direct messaging and some social media posts.
Are these people that already know you and your work?
Many of them do, yes.
Okay.
Many of them do. But again, I'm like you were. That's why I'm changing this year. So it's yeah. Like with how do you do the beta test without having to go into a full-fledged launch?
So when I beta test things, it's really just a feeling I have, like, wonder if this would work.
Yeah.
Literally. That's how my
Yeah.
whole business accelerated started. And it's my signature program right now. Right. And it literally started in one of these master classes. And it was May of 2024, because I remember it. Because I was going to Europe in July and I'm like, what am I going to do this summer? And then I was like, and I'm a former MBA professor, so I should put that out there. It wasn't just like I winged this up, right? I am a teacher, right? And I was like, we should really be teaching the MBA class to global entrepreneurs. I taught global strategy, and I think I can do it better, not in an educational format, like not in the university way, right? And if I can break it down so people can understand that aren't ever going to go to business school, right? And then put this whole soulful spin on absolutely everything, but still teach them the fundamentals, I think it could work. And I forget what I was teaching that day in the masterclass. I should look it up. And then I was like, does anyone want to beta test things with me? I'll put this out there. And I still charge people for my betas. It's just the lowest it'll ever be. Like, I just want to make sure I cover my costs and my time. And I was very honest. I was like, I think it's going to be somewhere between 12 and 14 weeks. If it's more, that's on me. It's not going to cost you any more. And I'm just going to write the class as we go through it. Who wants to be a part of it? And I think I had like 4 or 5 people go, me, I'll do it. And that's how the whole thing started. My last beta was the Aligned by Design, and I only did it as a 6-week. I just want to be very clear. Sometimes I beta test things and they sink. Like, that's why I run them once. Like, Aligned by Design, I did it as a 6-week class, and it was really cheap. I did it for like $222, right? Which wouldn't even cover a half hour of my time. But I was just like, let me put it out there because I wasn't really sure that I could do it. I wasn't sure I could teach intuition. I wasn't sure. And I don't know. I put it out there, and I think I just wrote an email. And I had I think 5 people joined that one too. Like, I didn't make any money, but it gave me the confidence to go through it and see that I could do it. And I did and I do homework and everything. Like, I'm an actual teacher. Like, I do assignments and homework and make you implement them. And now I know that it'll be better. But I've done things that have totally failed too. And I just want to be really clear. I did Scaling with Soul, which is great, except that everyone that joined were in such different places in their business. I really couldn't teach scaling enough to help them all. So that didn't work. I did another one. I did a small end mastermind. That didn't work at all. That was terrible. And it was cheap. It was just way too cheap. And I just had people that weren't going to do the work come in. I've learned that lesson before. Universe had to bring that right back to me. So there's a balance, and it's like, okay, don't do that anymore. But I will say that many of my things that I sell and do, I have this free platform, right? I have the free networking. I do this for free. I do my soul circles on the first Monday evening, and that was to deepen my own soul. So that came out of 2025 too. We started that, and I was like, let me see if I can do this in a way that feels right to me. Because inwardly, I don't think I'm the most soulful. I am very soulful, but I don't think like I'm the shaman, the teacher, the one that, right? I can hold.
I love you.
I feel that it's so different, but I'm so logically brained that people are like, I like the way you do it. It's not so woo-woo. And I'm like, okay. Right. So it's like kind of knowing that space. So when I talk to people, I bring them to my free space to make them feel very comfortable. Right. But when I feel like someone's aligned for a program, then I say, hey, from our last conversation, I think this program is going to be really good for you. Right. And I make the offer. My self-worth, if they accept or don't accept, is not attached to that. And I think that's the biggest thing. I do a lot of Um, Personal reach out to people. But I don't even know how many conversations I have a month, like a ridiculous amount of conversations every single month. So a lot of it is those personal relationships, right? And everyone I talk to is not a client, is never going to be a client, right? Like I said, I have a lot of spaces where people just follow me, and that's okay, right? I've gotten to a place where I want people to be a hell yes, or they're just not ready to work with me, and that's okay. That's okay, right? So I don't know if I'm answering your question, but beta testing for me, I usually do it ridiculously low to make sure I have the program down, the testimonials, the case studies. Like now my business accelerator, like exponential results. It's incredible, right? So it's cheaper. And now I'm testing, I have a model out there for February that they don't meet with me as much. They only meet with me twice. The first cohort met with me 6 times, right? But I was able to drop it $1,500 to test this new one. I was like, well, let me see, because if I can get more people and I can meet with them less and I still have the same results, then that's a good, right? Because 6 was way too much, by the way. It wasn't like I'm just leaving these people. It was way too much. So, and that's how I test things. Did that answer your question?
Yeah, to a point,
Okay.
it sure does. I charging for the beta, I love that. And I guess I just need to be out there more, sharing for free like you were doing
It's
and
also
getting these
building
things,
relationships.
building the relationships.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
Yeah. So I
So
have a bunch of people who will, follow me no matter what. But
they might do a beta with you then.
they would do a beta with me again. Maybe not investing though. So anyway.
So I also want to put out, and like I'm doing my business accelerator for February, and I'm going to show this to you guys in a minute. I know we're running over. I'm launching for the first, so the business accelerator, we know it works. It's great. Got that, right? So now I'm testing the inner circle, which I just told you about at the beginning, that I'm replacing my mastermind. This is a mastermind too, but I'm just calling it a mentorship. That is brand new, right? And the hardest thing is when you have something brand new is getting enough people in it for it to work,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because if 1 or 2 people do it, I'll still show up and I will still do it. But the point of it is the community, right? Making it work.
Exactly.
So anyone who signs up for my business accelerator in February, I'm also going to give them 4 months of that program. So it's not going to cost them any more, but the community's bigger while I build it. Right? So it's doing things like that. So it allows me to build it. It allows me to make sure it works. They get it for free. And then when they come out of the business accelerator, that is the next logical step for them.
Okay.
Right? So they can choose it or not choose it. So doing something like that.
Thank you. That's
You are
great.
welcome. I know you guys are about to jump off, but I do want to share with you because this is on YouTube. I'm hoping this was, I kind of made this right before. Oh, that's not it. How to work with me, because people always ask. If you want to work with me individually, I have this Psyche reset strategy session where I work with your inner subconscious level, right? And blocks and your money ceilings and give you intuitive guidance. And we look at all the low hanging fruit in your business. So it's an easy strategy. It's a strategy meeting and working with your subconscious. So that is a 90-minute session with me one-on-one. It's a great way to start in my programs if you've never worked with me before and you want something a little bigger. The inner circle is what I spoke to you guys about. This is a high touch mastermind. It comes with a one-on-one with me every single quarter. to make sure that you are building your business the way you want to and doing the strategy. And then every single month, we're also working together twice in group sessions, and there's a community and you have access to me. The Business Accelerator, we have one going off in, that's not gonna work. This is all on our website, by the way. You can go to soulprofessional.com and there's a whole menu there. The Business Accelerator is my signature program. There's one going off in February. We do this 3 times a year, and it is literally designing your business from beginning to end with the whole MBA strategy, the mission, the vision, your differentiator, your branding, your marketing, your packaging, your client flow, your follow-up, your launches. Every single thing is a part of that Business Accelerator. And I am your strategy officer the whole time, and you have access to me. So those are ways that you can work with me if you wanted to go any deeper with any of this. So I wanted to share that with you. And that's all I got. Hopefully you guys will come and be a part of the global gatherings we have the 3rd Tuesday of every single month. Next month in February, my newsletter is coming out, usually comes out the last Monday of the month. We are starting new healing circles. I am not running them, but the community is giving out healing circles the 2nd Friday of every month. So the first week we have our soul circle, the 2nd week the healing circle, the 3rd week is our global gatherings, and the 4th week is our master classes. So that's what our free community offers you guys. So hopefully we will continue to see you guys show up and be a part of it. Thank you so much for coming to my class today.
Thank you for being here.
You're welcome. All right, guys, please reach out if I can help support you in any way.
Okay.
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 All right. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.